Rachel here. I wanted to go over another one of the four main aspects of your postpartum planning, and this is your home care and who is helping you to care for your home and all the things you do around your house. Because, like I mentioned before, this is all about planning these 40 days postpartum where you are giving yourself full permission to be nourished and to do as little as possible and to really just focus on yourself, focus on your baby, and really call in the outside help from friends and family and community to help you and also your family in this time. And I've mentioned this before, it's so easy to think, oh, it's not a big deal. My spouse and my husband can, do some extra dishes, some extra laundry, clean up a little bit. Or maybe he's already does that kind of stuff too. But also just remembering that, like, there's a lot of transition going on, and let's really acknowledge that. I like to call these 40 days postpartum like the time of, like, you birth your baby, but now you're birthing your family. And everyone's role is changing a little bit, whether it's your first baby or, now you're becoming a mother or father to two. So that's different, or to more, there's more dynamics going on, and everyone's kind of figuring out their new role and how that looks. And naturally, like, there's going to be stressors that come in and things are going to come up. So just the more outside help you can have in this time, the better. And to really do your best to plan it ahead of time is just going to make it that much more smooth while you're in your nest, that you don't have to then be trying to, like, bring someone in and tell them how you like things done. So, the stuff that you need done for home care is pretty basic, just thinking of all the things that you do already, laundry and dishes, and if you have a dishwasher, just sweeping up, tidying up, that kind of stuff, So going back to what I've mentioned before on some other videos about, you're making your list of all your friends, all your family, your community people, everyone in your circle that might be able to help. And then this is one of the areas that maybe someone could have capacity for. Maybe someone doesn't want to cook and doesn't want to do childcare, but for them, they like to kind of clean, so for them, it would feel good to come over for a couple hours, to just help tidy up or do the dishes or whatever it is, So just finding out who your people are that can do that, and maybe you can get someone from your circle that wants to come over and do that, or maybe you need to think about hiring some outside help to do that. Someone that could come over, 3 times a week, or however often you think would be good for you. But, for a few hours, and, before you're in your nest, you could show them, like, oh, how the laundry gets done, and, where dishes go, or just kind of give someone the idea of that, so you don't have to then try to be doing that later. Yeah. And then this goes back down to also, if you do have some people that are able to help with it, having your calendar, you have your calendar for childcare, then also have, like, your calendar for cleaning people, so if there's someone that wants to come over and help tidy up once a week or a couple times a week, see who your people are that want to offer it as an offering. And then if you feel like you need some more help, then maybe you have one person come in, once a week and do a little bit of a deeper clean, or every other week and do a deeper clean. You just kind of have to feel out what feels good for you and plug those people in. And this also goes back to thinking about, like, the culture of the nest, of just being like a really kind of like in the womb time. So especially in, like, those first days, those first days and into that first week, like, you might not really want to really be talking to many people at all. And this is, like, where you really have to, like, protect and hold your space and who you're wanting to come in and just, because it's such a delicate time. So for like outside people beyond your immediate family, like when I gave birth to my first baby, I like, my phone actually just stopped turning on, which was funny. But I like, people knew I gave birth and everyone was okay. But I just didn't even talk to anyone for like a couple weeks. But I was also like living rurally in Costa Rica, so it was a little different because people weren't really able to come to me. But it was just like that time to like protect this like womb space of not needing to talk more than you need to talk, and and it might just be a time of like you're not really passing the baby around yet. So many times in our culture it's like, oh, I want to see the baby and pass it around, but it's like just like preserve that little window as long as you can. So if people are coming over to drop off a meal, kind of just maybe in the beginning or maybe throughout the 40 days you kind of have to feel that out for you, whether you want that interaction or you just kind of need that little space of not interaction. So kind of feeling that out and being okay expressing that, like, if someone who's supposed to drop off a meal or supposed to come clean or something, you could just say like, oh, I'm just going to be in my room, and I'm just taking time to just be with me and my baby, and they know that, and it's not something offensive, and there's going to be plenty of time for people to come see the baby and hold the baby and have all that extra energy. But sometimes all that extra energy in the very beginning can be a lot. So just knowing that it's okay, like as the mother especially, like this is like, if there's any time in your life to just be able to say like, I don't want this right now, I'm setting this space like that, this is your time and this is your right to decide that, because you're the one that had this baby and you're the one, that's going through this. So people might have their emotions about, feeling excluded, but just let people know, like the more we talk about it ahead of time, like I'm just taking this time to just be with the baby in this time, and you have to kind of decide how long that is for you. Maybe part of your 40-day nest is more of just, just a quiet, seclusive time. And then maybe the other part of it is more like people coming over and, talking and interacting more too. So that's just something, I'll give more videos on that specifically, but that's just something that came in my mind right now, thinking about outside people coming into your house to help clean and stuff. Like, there could be someone there, but you kind of just let them know like what you feel is good for you in terms of interaction, so they kind of know that coming into it what you're feeling, and it's okay to express that. But yeah, so so just making sure, calling that outside help to really give your whole family that time to just adjust, because it might not seem like a big deal to have your significant other do a little extra, but they also are like really going through their own transition too. So the less stress that they have, the better, the more space they can have just to, be with themselves, be loving on you, be loving on the baby, be loving on the family, without having to worry about like, oh, I gotta clean, I gotta do this. It's just, yeah, the more help, the better in this time. And the more it can be organized ahead of time, the better. For just easy, smooth, cared for, nurtured nest time, and in other cultures, I think the community kind of just knows how to step in more, that it doesn't maybe have to be planned so much by the mother. But I feel like in our culture, we don't have as much of a culture for it, and people don't know how to step in. So the more you can really become the director of it and really guiding people, the more people can know how to step in and feel excited to do it, and really just give you that energy. I feel like it's sometimes hard to be served for so long, and it brings up a lot of feelings. And I'm going to go into more videos on this, but it just brings up a lot of feelings of like, oh, do I deserve this? Like, should I, am I asking too much? But it's just like, no, this is like for you and your baby and your family, that the more that you are receiving and the more you can just be fully present with your baby and it can feel that like relaxed state by you and feeling so nourished, then after these 40 days when like life starts happening again and life gets busier naturally, it's like there's forever that foundation of like that baby first coming into this like relaxed womb, outside womb state of like, that's like a foundational imprint that they're going to have for their whole life. So yeah, do it for you, do it for your baby, do it for your family. You guys deserve it. Okay, love you, family. Aloha. Ciao.